Let's talk about AI. We've watched all about it in the movies, but few of us frankly really understand what's going on. Sometimes I wonder if we are running around like headless chickens, terrified of things we don't really understand. There's that whole fear of the uncertainty. But we have our experts here who will help us decode this magnificent beast, so to speak. We will start this session. Gentlemen, I would appreciate it if you could introduce yourselves and tell us a bit about what you do. Dr. Gambhir, would you like to start?
Yeah, I am Sanjay Gambhir. I'm basically a mechanical engineer, so still working on digital technologies and related infrastructure. I had a data center vertical at AECOM in addition to other verticals. And happy to interact here and share my thoughts on artificial intelligence and related digital technologies. And yeah, that's about me.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Shiva. I currently work with NPCI. My team and me, we are responsible to build, design, deploy, and also maintain the greenfield data centers, out of which UPI runs today. Apart from that, I also volunteer with an organization named People Plus AI, where we're working to bring, or say, commoditized compute like commodity bills indeed. It's called the People Plus AI OCC, Open Cloud Computing.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Manav, Bakshi. I'm a product engineering leader in ANZ Bank. Having around 25 years of experience, I've worked in manufacturing industry, I've worked in pharma, and for last couple of decades, I've been associated with the bank. So yes, my latest product consists of AI, ML, data, which I'd like to share with all of you. And as Deborah said, we all are living in FUD, that is fear of uncertainty. And yeah, we'll like to explore more on that.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sreeram. I work in Oracle for the last few years. I am also like Dr. Gambhir. I'm not a doctor, but like him, I'm a mechanical engineer. And I have been in industry and I take care of high performance computing. And also, if you look at all the AI technologies that we talk about, generative AI that we talk about, all need massive computing. And that's what I lead in India on the same platform.
All right, gentlemen, with that, let's dive right into this power-packed discussion. We are seeing this virtual explosion of AI, ML, IoT, and it's bound to have an impact on how we design, build, and operate Indian data centers. But before we dive into that, Dr. Gambhir, would you like to set the context for this?
So when it comes to AI or any digital technologies or anything else, everybody they get bugged up. What exactly it is. Any upcoming technologies which comes in the market, people run behind that and try to understand. And when you get deep into that, then you understand actually this was already existing. We never realized that. I take an example, let's go back into the history, 1950s when John McCarthy was working on AI, and just following that, 60s and 70s, I don't know how many of you are aware of Star Trek. There was a series, I think one of the most famous series my generation, have seen. And that actually depicted the whole concept of AI at that point of time. Sometimes movies and the authors, they move always ahead of, many people in the society. That's why they are different. The authors are very different. That's why when we read books, we come to know they're talking about future. Then we saw, I think Stephen Hawking's, very good example. 80s, 1980s, when 90s, when he underwent the surgery and then he lost his voice and sensations, and there was a complication. I think one of the best physicists you can think of. And then Intel, got, and we never wanted to lose him. We never wanted to lose his thought process, ideas. With an IQ of 166, Stephen Hawking, alive, is not able to share his ideas. it was not acceptable to some of the people. And then Intel went into that, and and that was one of the best example. I still remember, one of my very close friend was involved in those developments. They made a cat and then equalizer, and then, trying to understand, sentiments. Today we talk about emotions and sentiments. Just reading his facial muscle tweaks, expressions, and then his, fingers, movement, and then he was trying to convey his message, his thought process. One of the person who taught us about the universe, evolution of the universe, and we never wanted to lose his, thought process, thinking, advanced, knowledge on the universe, and we developed AI at that point of time. And I'm sure people today, are thinking of only, some of the people who are commercializing it. That's, of course, the business is done, because I'm a scientist, and then from scientist, I moved to a business leader. I'm doing business, so I am also worried about numbers. But evolvement of AI or any digital technology is, it always takes time. The technology, once it is mature, then only it comes in the market. Today, I was, all of us, we use Ola, Uber, and the drivers there, they use AI. There was I was part of one of the committee, and I'm a FICCI member also. I'm on the national committee of FICCI. There was a discussion, when the digital technologies were being implemented, one of the very senior government officials said, we are talking about, tech and all, how an uneducated person will be able to use it. I give you an example. I have met a driver. I asked him, you're not uneducated, when I was traveling through Ola. I asked him that, how do you handle it? He simply said, sir, मेरे को सिर्फ बोलना पड़ता है. And I get the answer, I get the location very, very correctly, okay? And if there is a doubt, I can ask the person. So, LLM models. So this is how AI and digital has come up. Now it's our responsibility to make that kind of infrastructure which can sustain these advancements. That is how I see AI and digital technologies.
Shiva, how do you think AI will impact the design, build, and operation of Indian data centers?
So, the fundamental inputs for any artificial intelligence, in fact, if we double click and we go in, it is statistics actually, which means we are dealing with a large set of numbers and data in terms of numbers, or let it be text or alphanumeric strings. End of the day, we are mainly dealing with two out of the four golden components of any computing, which is storage and compute. So thanks to the GPUs and their evolution today, and the storage. So one thing that we are still waiting and we are looking forward is to see how can this GPU and the storages can be commoditized further, so that it is far more affordable than today. And I personally feel that this is the root, or say the genesis from which the future evolution is going to move forward to support the AI adoption.
How about you, Manav?
Yeah, I'll like to add to Shiva, right? He's talking about GPUs and storage. So imagine, Shiva, if I have got a Neuralink chip in myself and I'm not using any artificial GPUs, and I've got that kind of power, and I can analyze what you are about to speak, what Dr. Sanjay is about to speak, what our friend is about to speak. So there is a lot to do with AI. Now, we have to be very careful. First, I'm waiting for all country government to come up with the policy standards about AI. The second most important thing is we have to have a strategic vision about AI, right? How to use it optimally and where exactly to use it. We are talking about data centers. We are talking about a lot of stuff. Dr. Sanjay has given the example of Ola, Uber. We never thought about it, right? There's a strategic vision around it. So mine is to use it in a right way, in an optimal manner, and with the kind of resources. So it could be dangerous if I'm having that chip, right? I can understand everybody, we have all the data with respect to, text, video, audio. Now we are talking about connectables, if you are being asked a question, your eyelid expand, we are even capturing that with respect to the variables we have, our pulse rate, everything. So we have to be very careful how to utilize that data in a right and optimized manner.
Manav, you're giving me anxiety, Manav. Sri, what do you have to say on that?
So I think first I agree to all the esteemed speakers over here. What Doctor said, AI has been there long back. The digital technologies are not something that has sprung now, right? I remember the days when I started my journey from CFD perspective. So think about it that, today you are seeing a car, and when you're designing a car, earlier were the days where there used to be a physical prototype, and then you used to do impact analysis of that car, those days, right? But the advancement of digital technologies have been so high that everything is done in a simulated world, right? And you can have the simulation of the car, crash analysis and impact, and come across like how you want to change the design, right? Second best example, all of you would know. It's raining heavily in Delhi, right? It is, and even in Pune and Mumbai. So you would have seen that, the Met department would have told or forecasted that there is going to be, severe rain, they say orange, red, and all those stuff, right? Now, we are seeing this, but believe me, this was there like 2 decades back, okay? This is nothing but a kind of AI because you are able to predict, right? Those sensors are there. There are weather forecasting applications which are available, okay? Which have been like 2 decades back. And those are able to tell you or forecast and tell how the temperature is going to be or what the forecasting is going to look like. So you look at it that it's not something new. But yes, what happens is now we are looking at accuracy, right? We are looking at much better predictive behavior that is coming in, right? You're seeing with vast amount of data that is there, your AI is able to give you better results with the infrastructure that my, the esteemed gentlemen over here have talked about, GPUs or, storage systems, all next generation. We have been able to get to a much predictable platform that can give you insights, not taking time. See, previously, to get to that particular point, it used to take time. But today, you are able to churn out those kind of decision-making insights pretty fast. So I feel that all of these are tied definitely to the infrastructure, definitely to the compute, storage, networking, we can talk all that. But at the back end, the data center has to be sizable to take this kind of an effort, to churn this kind of data, right? So that's why the design of the data center to take these humongous kind of platforms to give you real-time insights is of immense value.
But Sri, I'm curious though, then what role will these technologies have in the future of enterprise architecture?
See, that's a very good question, right? So if you look at it traditionally, why it was taking time, that there were a lot of legacy applications which were involved, right? The applications which were built were monolithic, were not able to scale fast. People used to spend money in maintaining those applications. The enterprise architecture was very monolithic. Right now, with the advent of, even in the previous panel, one of the gentlemen had talked about cloud-native applications. You see where the industry is going. I meet a lot of customers, and believe me, here also many of them would agree that cloud-native kind of an architecture is what people are looking at, especially in terms of digital platforms that people want to build. Let's say, for example, right, a lot of people would be coming up with chatbot. Now, chatbot that we have seen as an application was probably only at some kind of service that was offered to the customers, right? But now today, within your own organization, you want a platform. Let's say you're working in an organization and you have tons of data, right? Last 10 years of data, 5 years of data. And an employee wants to ask a question with the internal chatbot itself. Forget about external, internal chatbot itself. Want to ask a question like, I am a new joinee, and I would not want to know where should I learn more about, let's say, HR policies, or is this policy available, right? Or am I covered under this insurance? They want answer in a jiffy. And that's where applications which are more, open, are not monolithic, can scale to provide answers in a very fast response, is what enterprise architecture is looking at from a futuristic perspective.
Manav, you were also talking about implementation, right?
Yes, she talked about, asking questions and being a cloud provider. Sorry, don't hold too hard, Sri, but I would like to ask a question to a cloud provider that, when it comes to infrastructure logic layer, that how you can optimize the cost. Today is $1 million, how can you take it to $100,000? Okay, no, having said that, we have to use AI in the business logic, we have to use AI in the infra layer logic, and that's what is implementation about, and we are still exploring it. We are not there yet, but we'll be there soon, and that's where AI is about, using it, optimally, and, all of us know what happened in a couple of days back with Microsoft, and how, AI can, help us with security and threat intelligence.
Shiva,
I have to answer you back.
your thoughts on that?
So, on the enterprise architecture, I'll say it's about programmable data centers, right? So I actually have a habit of breaking things down to the most simplest particle. So if we look at the entire story of how the public clouds have actually made the life easy of application developers, there was an era where application developers, software developers were always depending on the infrastructure team to provision. But what brought in the change is actually the APIs, or say in other words, the programmability of infrastructure. The public clouds have actually cracked it so well that a software developer can actually provision. In fact, we have seen in the past where business teams have straight away interacted with infrastructure and they have got their job done without any expertise, right? So, but the fundamental point is, can we actually create programmable data centers? Can the enterprise architecture go? So even if we're talking about AI, it's how are we gonna play with the numbers, and how are we gonna run the statistical models or the machine learning models per se. But the ability to run that for a data scientist should be easy. So programmable data centers is what we are looking at.
Thank you so much for that. My next question is for Dr. Gambhir. So how close do you think are Indian data centers towards deploying AI and digital technologies as tools across the data center life?
Yeah, Deb, very pertinent question, and I've been interacting with almost all the operators, including hyperscalers. I don't want to, being a consultant, I don't want to take names because then it will look like
Of
biased.
course, yeah.
So I will keep little confidentiality, and I have an NDA agreement with them. There is just before our session, we heard from Ola that their data, majority of their data is being hosted on the data centers which are outside of India. What's the reason? You have to understand that and you have to understand this, Deb, with respect to the requirement first. So the AI and the advanced digital technologies, you talk about deep learning, you talk about machine learning, you talk about generative AI. It requires a very high speed processing, and anything which is a lot of processing means a lot of heat generation. So the design of the data center itself will be different to handle AI and digital technologies related requirement. Okay, and this is the first part. The second part is you have to understand that how the adoption of AI and digital technology is happening across the world. You will be surprised to know, which there is a study, and that study says that India and India's enterprises are at the top when it comes to adoption of AI and digital technologies. So it means the requirement of AI enabled means the data centers which can handle AI applications is much more required in India than outside at the moment. And our operators are not able to meet that requirement. the rack density, which I think during the power panel also we had, we heard all the operators here, they were actually talking about kilowatts, few kilowatts. They went up to 200 kilowatts, okay? I'm sharing here that there are data centers which are being designed and are in the process of development outside of India, exceeding the rack density of more than 500 kilowatt. Okay?
Wow.
So this is where we are. The positive side is that we are at the forefront of adoption of the technologies, AI technologies, but we are not providing the infrastructure to these technologies, whoever is developing these. So what will they will go outside. They have no other option but to go outside. Now, how do we go it? Now, recently only I have seen, there was a little, I don't want to go too much into technical things. There was a little discussion around chip cooling and immersion cooling and liquid cooling. That's there. Most of when it comes to our Indian operators and the data centers in India, including at the moment the hyperscalers who are putting data centers in India, or everybody, whatever is there in the public domain, you will be able to understand that none of them will be able to meet the expectation and the requirement of GPU and TPU, which we are talking about. That's why we have to go next step. And this is the time when the operators in India, be it the Indian operators or the operators who are coming from outside, also start thinking in the direction of AI and digital technologies related infrastructure to be provided to all the players here. So that's the situation, yeah. So we are still far behind at the moment.
But you are hopeful about it, right?
I'm very hopeful. See, we at AECOM sitting in India are, we are having one of the biggest team, and we are developing those, developing those data centers sitting in India. And that is what I think we heard, on the skill side also there are gaps, no doubt there are gaps, but whenever new tech comes in the market, there was a time, I remember the time when I was doing the graduation, I completed my graduation and people started moving in the direction of ERP. Everybody was talking about ERP. There was a shortage of ERP experts. It happens. That's how the development takes place. So I'm very hopeful, and the world is flat. That is how Thomas Friedman says, and that was told in 1988, if I remember correctly. And that was a time, I was doing mechanical engineering that time, and then we were trying to work on digital technologies, and I wanted to, for one of my research work, I wanted to do, measurement on hydrodynamics in high-speed circulating fluidized bed, and I had to import silicon graphics computer from outside. That's the time. From there to here we have come, and today the world has become more flatter. We have our kids, you think about our kids, they have much more information than us. They know what's happening, K-pop, they know everything what's happening in Korea, they know what's happening in US. So they will go in that direction, or they will do better than us, and as far as the development and the research is concerned. So rest assured, when there is a demand, the scientists and the researchers are there. We have best of the institutes in India. People say government is spending a lot of money, but what is the output? There is an output. That's why the tech is moving in the right direction. So I'm very hopeful, and no doubt about that, and we are ready to lead it from the front.
Sri, I'm curious, what have you observed vis-a-vis Indian enterprises integrating AI and digital technologies into their on-prem data center strategies to drive business growth?
Yeah, see, the thing is, like, there's always this discussion between on-prem data center, cloud data center, what is the best, okay. And my friend also said that the clouds are like expensive. See, it's the way you look at it, whether the glass is half full or the glass is half empty, right?
What's in the glass, brother? That's more important.
Yes, what's in the glass, right? And what you drink. So the thing is that When you look at on-prem data center, definitely yes, people would want the data to be close to you. So the gentleman from DRDO, what he highlighted is a very right or a pertinent problem that the industry faces, especially the government kind of industry also faces, where the data is there and they want to maintain the sovereignty of the data, right? So on-prem data center, when you look at it, the techniques that are deployed, that is there. But when you look at, let's say, for example, a cloud data center, or when we migrate the application, you cannot completely go 100%. Okay, it is not something that you would just leave everything and go 100%, right? You always have to maintain a hybrid approach where you know that what data is critical to you, what is important from a sovereignty perspective, you keep it at your local data center, right? And applications where you want to do rapid development, rapid deployment, right? And you want to scale fast. See what advantages that you get from an on-prem data center, or sorry, on a cloud data center, is that today the pace is needed. You cannot afford to, take a lot of time to build your data center. Of course, yes, one of the gentlemen said it takes 24 months. And when you plan for 24 months, you know that, okay, this is the kind of adoption I will have my customers, right? So you are planning much ahead of the cycle. You're not doing it today. The second thing is that with the pace that you want, you would want to do rapid scalability that is available for you.
True.
GPUs are something that everyone is talking about, GPUs. But where on earth are GPUs, right? I mean, everyone is like, okay, you get a 1 GPU, you are happy. No, you're talking about training huge sets of data, or you're talking about making use of those data which is available to you in form of LLMs, and then inferring very fast. So you're hungry for resources.
True.
Right? And that's where when you talk about scalability, you go to a cloud platform to scale fast, deploy fast, act fast, and give results to the customers fast. Now, for customers who are government customers also, there are cloud platforms that offer sovereign cloud. That is there, right? And in fact, there are providers who will be able to get cloud to your home. Absolutely possible. Okay, can draw the boundary. You will get all the cloud elastic features in there, in your place, everything being done.
Yeah.
So those kind of disruptions are going on. It's available today for the customers, right? So I would see that when you look at it, don't look at it as, should I go for this? Should I go for that? No, what suits you the best? Think about it, but think what you can go fast, because if you are not going to give your application today, someone else, whether he is doing on-prem or whether he is going to do on cloud, is going to beat you and take that pie away, right? So that's where it stands.
Shiva, what have you observed vis-a-vis Indian enterprises? Yeah, the mic. Dr. Gambhir, yeah. Give him the mic, please. Thank you.
Sorry, can you just repeat that?
Yeah. What have you observed vis-a-vis Indian enterprises integrating AI and digital technologies into their on-prem data center strategies?
Right, so I'd like to continue on the topic where I paused, which is programmable data centers, right? So thanks to the public clouds, thanks to Oracle, thanks to Amazon, they taught us one way where we can actually, make the infrastructure so easy to consume, right? So when it comes to typically the enterprises, the data centers, I'd like to actually categorize the entire ecosystem into two halves, the providers and the consumers, right? And providers are the ones who have to collaborate together, which I believe has already started. And indeed, thanks to the open source as a culture, which has been actually driving this at a very high pace, where the enterprises are getting the advantage, and so are the students, researchers, and they're able to collaborate well. So it's not just only the large enterprises, the data centers, the infrastructure providers, but also a lot of researchers. They're all already coming together, but this has to happen a lot more at a scale where, as Sreeram just mentioned, if we can actually make compute like a utility bill, like let's say we pay our monthly electricity bills, our phone bills. AI is becoming a part of our lives, accept it or not, it is already imbibed in our lifestyle. So that's the direction towards which I want and I expect and I hope to see it happening more.
Dr. Gambhir wanted to make a point on that, right?
Yeah. See, I have seen that time when, for my research, if I wanted to have a very high-speed processing, it was a challenge. So I just try to relate with that and the present situation. When we talk about on-prem or enterprise versus the cloud, and there is always, a criticism for the cloud sometime when they charge a lot. Imagine a situation in an institute. We have a lot of institutes across the globe. Even within India now, we have so many, research institutes, including the so many technical colleges, universities. Imagine a situation, some good person is doing a research there, doing a good, and then they want to come out with a good numerical analysis model, and that fellow has done well, and now he's not able to process it. The processing time, I have gone through that phase where the processing time used to take around 3 days running on the machine will, shut down in between. It will abruptly shut down, and then again you have to start, and then the time is lost. Today you have that possibility. All enterprises, without developing their own high-speed, high-processing, they have an option. Okay, pay to the cloud operator and get that work done. So that's the one point. The second point which I want to bring is operation of these data centers using AI part. That is also very effective. This is how I see the control operation of data centers going forward. With the help of AI, within the data hall, different servers loading, getting changed, and the heat generation is getting, it's different because some are working, some are very, high processing units, some are storage. You have a possibility of controlling that through AI. That's possible. How do you do that? You get the data collected and then control your cooling system accordingly. And at the same time, first is I'm talking about the infrastructure. The second is even the processing, with the quantum technology coming up so well, blockchain is already aware of. You can break into pieces and then load different processing units differently and then come out with the results very efficiently. That's possible. The third point which I want to bring, we were talking about, temperatures. The cooling requirement is based on the temperature of the environment. There is always a possibility if you have multi-location data centers, one in a cooler zone and one at a, at a hotter zone. There is a possibility you do data transfer from the hotter zone to the cooler zone area and then do the high-speed processing there. Because the cost of cooling in a cooler zone is much lesser because the temperature is already cooler there. So this is how the artificial intelligence will be able to monitor and then give the feedback to the system and then control the overall process. That is what I see at the moment, with respect to various aspects which everybody talked about.
Thank you, Dr. Gambhir. My next question is for you, Manav. What role do you see the government playing in supporting the integration of AI and digital technologies in Indian data centers and enterprise operations?
Yeah, so I'll take from Dr. Sanjay where he has left about, cloud adoption. Now, I'd like to answer with respect to that. Now, that's very right point, Dr. Sanjay, about, data center adoption. So we have to have a strategic foresight first about how to utilize our data. One of our gentlemen from DRDO has asked the question. Second is about migration strategies. What kind of migration strategies we're going to use it, and what kind of help I can get from both the god Shiva and Ram. And the third aspect is the operational efficiency part of it. Now, when it comes to the skill set gap, everybody is talking about that there is a skill set gap in India and this and that. These kind of skill sets should be part of the curriculums of engineering institute.
Here.
Yeah, instead of, having, so Indian students are the brightest student in the world. We have done it, and everybody has, appraised it and things like that. But now it's kind of action. I've been going through all the sessions, everybody's talking about let's take action, let's take action. And this is a request to the gentleman from, Skills Committee that it should be adapted by all engineering college and all ITIs and all the, institutes, that we have to go next level when it comes to cloud adoption, AI, digital. So that's about the skill gap.
Shiva, you want to add to that?
Yeah, so thanks, Manav. That's actually one of the, I would rather say this is one of the major burning problems, or say a burning challenge on the plate today for our country. As a kid growing, I was a part of many debates at school talking about a concept called as brain drain. Today we are talking about, we have come a long way ahead today, but the challenge is the syllabus, especially in the computer science, operating systems or computer networks, the concepts are very well explained, but bringing those concepts into reality and making them consumable has unfortunately become a very niche area of operation. So when we at NPCI, we are looking for engineers who can work with us and make our data centers a little more advanced in terms of orchestratable, or let us say when we are talking about a simple protocol like DNS. And when I go back to the freshers, they are much aware about the cloud service providers like Route 53, but they are unaware of the concept that it is actually DNS, which is the protocol, right? So I think there is a fundamental need of building something called a center of excellence. So as a part of our own organization, what we have started doing is, we are a pro-open source organization. You all know that we're a not-for-profit. We're on UPI. UPI is 100% open source. It's built on 100% open source technologies. We don't use any enterprise licensed products in UPI, right from the operating system to the software layers, indeed. It's only the hardware that we buy, and then it's all orchestrated on software. Now, one of the major challenges is that how do we maintain, how do we actually improvise? And we are, again, not, we are going back to the colleges. We are hiring a lot of freshers, because what we see is that when it comes to platform engineering, there's a huge gap between the textbooks and the reality in data centers. That's true. So in order to solve this, we looked at different ways in the last couple of years, and what we have concluded is we need to go back to the educational institutions in the country. In fact, we are fortunate enough that our board of directors also have complimented us to the access to the most premium institutes in the country, like the IITs, IISCs. And we are now in talks with them where we can actually collaborate. Can the students actually come and do an internship with us in our data center engineering? Because we are parallelly building R&D lab, because we are constantly worried about the future. We need to cater to the volume, and UPI, we all know the scale. We are already at a $500 million a day scale today, if we happen to see the numbers, and it's growing. Thanks to all the banks, thanks to all the consumers, all my customers, all the people here for making UPI a huge story. But the responsibility lies with us to make it more scalable and more affordable and easily reliable, right? I mean, it has to be reliable, and we are trying our best. So center of excellence, we need to build this, and this is one of the major challenges that we have on the plate today.
Perfect. Gentlemen, we have very little time. You want to?
I will just add, 2 points here, very important points, and anyway, so I think we have put a lot of effort during the last couple of years, and we have the global center of excellence within our organization in India. So that's the important point. In India, serving rest of the locations in US and Europe. So we are proud of having that in India. That's the one point. The second point is, when it comes to, because I think all panels, when I see here also, not only here, no offense to anybody, at other locations also, I was with the Viksit Bharat conference, and then there I was talking on green energy. Very opposite, thought process here is very different, is that knowledge is free today. it's easily available. So we have to take the right action. This is how the artificial intelligence and this is how the internet is helping. So knowledge is available on the net, and how long it will be free, people will start charging it. I am very sure on that. So use that rather than waiting for somebody else to skill you. So that's my message, yeah.
Sri, any concluding remarks on collaboration and skills development?
Yeah, I think all of these people brought up a very pertinent point. There is a gap in the skills development that we see today. And I think working with a lot of government institutions, right, that is the right way to go. Government institutions and, the collaboration with academia and industry, that's the right way to go. And again, a lot of industries, a lot of cloud providers, they have their own educational way, certifications. These are available for the masses. I would say people just pick that up. Pick those certifications, pick those latest technological trends, because then you're not out of the game. And then you're able to contribute to the development of the nation, because ultimately these all are building blocks to develop our nation, right? So, yeah.
So nation building is at the heart of everything. That is a
Absolutely.
wonderful note to conclude this panel discussion on. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Sri, Manav, Shiva, and Dr. Gambhir. It was a pleasure hosting this discussion.